As you guys can tell, Jarvis and I always have a great time, no matter what we are doing. Whether we're up in Flowery Branch, whether we are at State Farm Arena, whether we are at Truist Park, or whether we're right here with you guys on ATL Day Ones, we always have a good time. We bring the party. The party doesn't have to
Indeed.
come because we go to the party. But anyway, you guys rock with us. You party out with us every day. We appreciate that. So keep doing it. Keep going to those audio platforms wherever you get your podcast. Keep going to YouTube and checking us out. Following us, subscribing, and liking, and also leaving comments because we really do take what you say seriously. And we hope that the Atlanta Hawks will take what we've said seriously when
Yes.
they get on the court tonight in game 5, a closeout game potentially for the Heat, a game where the Hawks can stave off elimination. But the question is, how do they actually do it? They showed us in game 3 that it can be done. They
Right.
showed us even in the second half of game 2 that it can be done. And even in the regular season, getting a win against the Heat and basically challenging them in all 4 games. But it's crunch time now. It's go time. So, Jarvis, how do they get it done?
I think they're gonna have to pay attention to the little things because I think that the Heat are going to try to. They're going for the neck. I think they're coming for your throat. They when you think about the type of players that are on that squad, and I think about the leader of that team and Jimmy Butler. Jimmy
Yes.
Butler ain't playing around with these people.
Right.
Or as my people on the West Side say, he ain't playing with these folk.
Yeah.
you know, I think that because they are in a space where why go back to Atlanta?
Right.
Why go back to Atlanta? Why have to go and deal with that? Why have to go and deal with that environment? Why
Mm-hmm.
travel another day? Let's
Right.
go ahead and get our rest day after we win tonight and go
Yes.
ahead and move on to the next round and figure out who we're going to play.
Yes.
Because I think that's where they are. So if they can hold off, kind of ride the wave of that
Mm-hmm.
initial burst that the Heat are coming with, I think they'll be fine. And how they
Mm-hmm.
do that is that they're going to force them to respect the other players, right?
Yes.
The other guys, the guys that the
Family, as
gang,
you call
the
them.
family, and the family. The family is going to have to step up.
Yes.
Kevin Herter can't have an off night. That
Yeah.
can't happen anymore. Bo is going to have to play. He talked about how people wonder why he only played 21 minutes. They thought it was something
Mm-hmm.
going on with the injury, but
Right.
Nate McMillan said that that's not the case.
Right.
This is what it is. It said he's fine. So hey, I need 30 plus from him. I need 30 plus from Bo, and I
Yeah.
need Bo to be Bo.
Mm-hmm.
The fourth quarter Bo. Give me the fourth
Yes.
quarter Bo in the
Yes.
first half. I'll
Yeah.
take that all day.
Yeah.
And Trae can't score single digits. I know he can be effective, distributing the basketball and getting the
Mm-hmm.
ball to his teammates and getting them involved and everything, but he cannot have another game of single digit scoring or they won't have another game
Right.
come
And
night.
I'm going to go in the reverse direction because you are absolutely right. It's great to have him as a facilitator, great to see him kind of getting more acclimated to off ball movement. But tonight, we've got to see his teammates step up. And the other group that I was thinking about, Jarvis, was the bigs.
Yeah.
Like the bigs have to take care. If Clint's going to play, I know he's questionable, but he's probably going to go. Onyeka Okongwu's going to go. John Collins is not listed on the injury report as of this morning, so I'm
Okay.
assuming he's going to go. Gallo's not listed on. I mean, the whole
Yeah.
core of bigs.
Mm-hmm.
When you are on that court, you have one thing and one thing to do. You got it. Well, two things. Of course, you have to crash the boards, and that's
Yes.
on both sides. So keep them away from the board so they don't get second chance points, but also crash the boards to give your guys second chance opportunities and clearing the paint for Trae to be able to do his thing. The one
Right.
play that got you the win, not to say that it wasn't a full game effort, but the play that got you the win in game 3 was Onyeka Okongwu, double O, clearing Bam Adebayo out just enough to give Trae the space to be able to get that floater to go in. That's what you
Yeah.
need to do because that is his signature shot. And oftentimes when he gets that floater going, that actually, he plays the inside out game a lot that people don't realize. Yes, he's lethal outside, but oftentimes when he gets that floater going, that's when you know Trae's full sort of arsenal is available to him. But in order for him to use the full arsenal, the bigs have got to clear that paint for him.
No doubt
Gotta
about
get-
it. And those guys who sitting on those wings, like a DeAndre Hunter and Kevin Herter, is he once he gets into the lanes, the only way that the Heat aren't going to be there is because they respect that those guys are going to hit
Yeah,
those shots. And
yeah,
DeAndre Hunter has quietly, like he does a lot of things,
yeah,
he's been having some really good games. Like I thought last game he got off to an amazing start, and
yeah,
then he took him out of the game, and just like, okay, like okay, what happened to Hunter?
yeah,
Oh, there he is, you know. So in the second half, so I think that if those guys can start to hit those shots, so those guys won't sink into the lane and kind of sit around and have all their. You got all those eyeballs on
yeah.
11, and trying to figure out what he's going to do.
Hmm.
That's the only way I feel like that lane will be clear
Yeah.
so Trae can and go to work. So now, I said that before when we were talking about it in our pre brief
Hmm.
that I have a couple quotes that I wanted to read to you. I'm
Hmm.
going to read to them word for word, and I want to get your response because I know
Hmm.
how I felt when I read them or heard them, but I want to get your response. Here's
Okay.
Trae Young. If you're watching the game, you see they have 5 people in the paint when I have the
Hmm.
ball. They're doing a great job of showing help and not letting me get into the paint. When I'm driving, if I try to drive by somebody, they're sending a double and forcing me to kick to my teammates. I took 11 shots and probably took a couple forced ones at the end. I didn't get too many clean ones. You have to give them credit. We have to do a better job of getting more open looks and getting them off me early so I can create not only for myself but my teammates. What are your thoughts when you hear that?
I like the mindset there. I think that's okay because it's the truth.
Right.
I don't know that I necessarily like you putting it out there in the ethos because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes that causes a friction that can spill over into the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and granted, I always still defer to the fact that he is young. So
Right.
sometimes you don't always know what to say and not say. But then again, maybe because we always talk about that team not really having a dog in them and what puts the fire under them. Well, Travis Schlink lit a fire under them a couple months ago with his comments, right, about
Mm-hmm.
his disappointment and where they were, and basically saying only one or two players were, not expendable. So maybe this will be that. But on that same token, the one thing that disappoints me just a little bit is in his presser yesterday, and even some comments from today. I do want to hear him take a little bit more onus and a little bit more
Mm-hmm.
leadership because there were still moments in the games where you lost, where you clearly were lost. It wasn't that the team wasn't where they were supposed to be, that, there wasn't proper spacing and people weren't in their spots, players weren't in their spots. There were some miscues, mental miscues on your part that have to be corrected tonight as well.
Turnovers.
Yeah, exactly. So
Turnovers.
you don't get double digit turnovers just because everybody else on the team weren't, hitting their spots or weren't setting up screens or getting in pick and roll properly. No, some of that was you as well. So that's
Right.
the one thing I really wish I would have heard more of Trey realizing or acknowledging, hey, it's on me too.
Yeah, no doubt. And like I said, I'm right on board with you, and because these are the moments that are going to that a lot of his teammates are going to remember, right? I know a lot of people talk about this summer, it may be the summer of Sam, and they might blow this bad boy up except for him and all this
Mhm.
making all these trades and Travis Link going run through this roster.
Right.
However, in this moment for
Mhm.
tonight,
Yes.
people are going to remember what you say in
Hmm.
these moments because at the end of the day, whether you want to shy away from it or not, you
Hmm.
are the leader of this team. And
Yes. Yeah.
people remember what you say and how you do in
Hmm.
these moments when your backs are up against the wall because that's when you find out about your teammates. You find out about who you are as a
Hmm.
leader, as a guy, who's supposed to be the face of this franchise. So I think that it was interesting, but I also think that like I said, I feel like it was also almost like a plea for help. Like,
Yeah.
hey
Yeah.
man, like help
Yeah.
me out,
Right.
coach.
Right.
Like I
For
don't know
real.
what's going on. These guys throwing stuff at me from I ain't seen since high school, and this is another level. And I was
Right.
like, whoa, wait a minute, bro. calm down.
Yeah.
Like, like you said, have some, have a filter, in these times. Some things you just keep to yourself and have a conversation with Nate off record or whatever, however you want to do it. So yeah, but I'm with you though. I think it was something that I felt like he gave me a little bit too much.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Now, I will tell you this, which we don't have to talk about it today, but definitely put a pin in it, Jarvis, because we'll come back to it eventually should the Hawks not get to the second round. But what do those comments mean? And you kind of teed up on it. What do those comments mean for going forward? Because those are the kinds of comments that could spill over into the offseason in terms of the players who might potentially stay and what that chemistry will look like. So we're gonna delve into that once we get
Yes.
to that point of the offseason. But right now, there's still ball to be played tonight. Hopefully, there'll be ball to be played Thursday. And so we will be watching. And of course, you guys come back tomorrow. We're going to have some more conversation about it. But the intersection between sports and entertainment is up next. It's For the Culture. We're going to talk about one of the GOATs giving some soon to be GOAT or one soon to be GOAT some advice. And we're also going to talk. So we're going to talk about that. And you know what? I'm just going to surprise you guys because if you saw the first segment, then you know what the second topic is. And if you didn't, why don't you come back to ATL Day Ones? We'll see you on the other side.